Hello and welcome back to the filthy 15 as we are working our way through the most sinister, evil, terrible music from 1980s as told to us by the PMRC.
It's been 8 weeks since we last recorded the previous episode that you've watched as well, and I haven't watched in all that time to make sure that I am as filthy as is humanly possible.
Good. So,
Yeah,
this was brought to the attention for being of the occult,
Satan.
Satan himself, as we are getting our first jaunt into Merciful Fate with Into the Coven.
I believe as well. This is my first jaunt into Merciful Fate. Full stop. I cannot remember any songs I ever would have heard, nor does it ring any bells. Now, don't get me wrong. Once you start listening, you might go, "Oh yeah, I have heard that along the way." But no, I think this is an absolute stone cold coming in. I don't think I've heard the band and not this song either.
So I have a bit of history with Merciful Fate slash King Diamond. So King Diamond's the singer of Merciful Fate. He then goes off and has a solo career
And so King
after.
Diamond, I know. I didn't realise that King Diamond was the
Yes,
singer of Merciful Fate. Okay.
and did get to see King Diamond at Bloodstock a few years ago. One of those rare ones of never tours, hasn't been in the UK in 15 years, and is like, oh, he's doing the festival you're going to. I'm definitely watching. And yes, lots of Satan, but
Lo- Lots of Satan.
lots of
Lashings and lashings of Satan.
so much Satan. So, shall we?
Yeah, I was going to say very quickly before we go into this. Obviously, partly what we're kind of doing here is, you're listening out for lyrics and going, "Oh, God, why? How should this got on their radar?" Um, but considering who the group was and what they were trying to stop, this feels like it probably is going to be a slam dunk under their agenda, doesn't it?
This like Wasp is going to be one of the easier ones to see
Yeah,
what upset them.
yeah. The sensitive little flowers. Right. Let's
Let's
get our
get
Satan on.
into the coven.
I was expecting a couple more drum hits at the end there. I thought it was going to get another bang bang at the end.
So the lyrics that upset them the most, surprisingly, were "Come, come, come into my coven and become Lucifer's child," which surprises me when you've got "Suck the blood off this unholy knife and say after me, my
My
soul
soul
belongs to
belongs to
Satan."
Satan. Yeah. I mean, there isn't a sort of singular part of this that I don't think would have been on their radar. It's I guess it's what their radar was invented for, isn't it? Before we kind of get into any parts of it, I'm going to use a very strange descriptor for a song that we're talking about as being in the Filthy 15, and as you said, like uh, clearly they weren't fans of it, and clearly there's references to Satan and Lucifer throughout. So opening my real wife about what I'm about to say, that's quite a fun song, wasn't it?
It is. It is a quite little
Yeah,
fun ditty.
and we said on previous episodes we experienced a lot of this stuff that tried to be banned, and it never did us any harm. And maybe, just maybe, when I'm talking about a song about Lucifer and Satan being a fun little ditty, maybe they were right. Like, maybe my compass has skewed so far, but I took it more as a story.
Yeah,
Like it kind of it wasn't. I didn't feel like when I was listening to it them going, Satan is brilliant, Satan is the best, da 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 da, or anything like that, or like it being brutal with it. It felt to me like almost sort of lyrically the way it's going, a bit like a Hammer House horror movie that might have had witches or Satanism in it, and yeah, pulled me in along that way. So yeah, a fun
it's
song.
it's the thing because they're Mercyful Fate are Danish, so it has that old timey pagan feel to it, especially the intro in.
That
Um,
opening minute, yeah, I was sitting here thinking, this is a Wicker Man crossed with even older timer, like it's Wicker Man played on a lute.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking for that first minute.
and a lot of their stuff is, as you say, fun, a sort of tongue in cheeky, a little bit of
Yeah,
how evil and Satan and it is. It's there for shock value. If you look at a picture of King Diamond with his white corpse paint and his upside down cross and his top hat, he looks like he should be about to, like in Midsummer or something like that, where it's like it is that
yeah,
ritualistic
yeah,
pagan thing of, down with that god. We've got our old gods. This is
yes,
our god,
yeah,
not that god. And it's very much that sort of a thing. And as you said again, like Wasp and Prince, it's blatant here. It is blatantly easy ones to go right. Here are the things that are going to fuck off fundamental Christians. We're
yeah.
going. Here is our coven. We have a high priestess. Come into our coven and become one with Lucifer and sell your soul to Satan.
Well, I know we've talked about this on other music ones, and even sometimes on the comic book one of in entertainment genres, sometimes things seem more acceptable in certain genres than others. And I keep my brain keeps going back to kind of Hammer House horror, and I'm going, you wouldn't think of banning them either, would you?
No,
And it seems like forget the lunacy of what we've experienced so far at Filthy 15, but just in general as a concept. Um, yeah, I don't know. This just seems like a horror movie in song, but a more old school kind of horror. And as you say, that kind of paganism and that old feel to it, rather than it being, they're not going. We're going to go on a rampage, murder everyone in the city, burn the world down, Satan, 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 Satan. Although now I feel like I've just written a song, so maybe
that's
we should
AFL.
record that. Yeah, like I don't know. I said before it started, like the subject matter, I can see without hearing it why it made the Filthy 15. But then after hearing it, I feel really sorry for it for make. Well, hopefully it helped it in sales, but I feel sorry that this one was kind of putting. So I'm just going, no,
Yeah,
like
as I said,
it's fine.
you've also got to remember what the PMRC also did, other than the Filthy 15, was like all the films and stuff as well. They went after the
Okay,
video nasties, didn't
uh,
they?
but again, like there's a world of difference between this and Driller Killer, isn't there?
Yeah,
This feels like if they'd have done that and gone after, and I'll go back to it again, the Wicker Man, rather than, and you go, oi, bugger off, leave that alone.
yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously, you said you sort of know of King Diamond probably from him turning up in musically in Kevin Smith films.
yeah, and somewhere along the line, can't remember when, quite a few years ago, pre watching Kevin Smith, I remember listening to an album, and I don't know why it come across my bow, but I liked it. I love the bit in this where and let me just scroll down to check where it was. It's in the bridge. It's when he delivers the line "crushed across," and just the energy he put into it. So like he's singing the way he is, like with his voice, and it just got to that bit, and it kind of he ratcheted it up to 55,000 to hit that line.
Yeah, it's say Mercyful Fate, King Diamond are a very Marmite band in like metal and stuff, because you either can stand the falsetto and the way that how he sings, because it is a trademark of King Diamond, is that falsetto
Yeah,
high notes that I would not even attempt to do because I just can't. But that, either you can live with that and you can vibe with it, or it will be your turn off for this.
yeah,
And the thing that I love is because of the way that he sings and stuff, the fact that the music isn't like brutally fast or
yes,
overly
yeah,
aggressively heavy. He is the star of it, and even though he does go in that high falsetto, lyrics are so clean and clear in it that you can understand every word that he's saying with it. Whereas if that was behind someone a bit more faster, so thinking of bands at the time, so it's like a Metallica or
yes, yeah.
early Slayer or Anthrax or things like that, like the speed metal that was starting to come out, that would get lost, and I think it would clash too much with the vocal style.
But then on the other side, I think the fact that it comes in at about 5'11", 5'12" allows them to do a lot of musicality when he isn't singing, so that I didn't find it grating or anything like that. Whereas,
Yeah.
as you say, I think with that falsetto, I think it could, like, if it was 5 minutes solid of line after line after line of singing, I do wonder whether I might at that point go, whoa. Whereas there's enough going on around it and in between the lines that I think it. Yeah, we said before about the voice being an instrument, and people argue the voice is always an instrument, but sometimes it's an instrument with a little bit more of interest than others
Mm.
because they're trying to do something different with it. And I think I'd look at it like that on this and go, with certain instruments, I probably wouldn't want to hear solidly for 5 minutes. I possibly wouldn't want to hear him sing solidly on this for 5 minutes, but it works because of what they use to break it up, including the 1 minute intro. I think it's a really a great way of doing it. And when we get to the bridge, you get a chunk of the bridge, and then him deliver a couple of lines, then a bit more of the bridge, and then you go back into sort of chorus and verse, and you kind of go, or verse and chorus, and you go, yeah, you're breaking this up quite nice, so no part of it ever stays its welcome. And of course, they
Mm.
do some switch up on the sounds, what's happening musically throughout it as well, doesn't it? And there was a couple of bits where I just went, oh, that one felt a bit of a rougher transition than maybe some of the others. But all in all, even like where I thought there was a bit of a rougher bit, didn't make a difference because I went, there was enough really good stuff in here. I can forgive them doing something that I don't like, but they might have liked when they did it.
Yeah. So, as we said, this one's quite an easy one for why it's in the Filth 15 because
Yeah, I still think they're
Satan.
pricks for it though. I do think
They
they're pricks
they
for
they
it.
are, but
Yeah.
low hanging fruit.
Yeah, yeah. I
Bit of
mean, yeah.
Satan.
As we said, it's absolutely against what they're trying to do. So yeah, you can see it in there. But context again, people. Listen to the song and kind of go. I don't think this created many Satan worshippers.
No, this was music for D&D players.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, get this in the next season of Stranger Things, and bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So down there, is this worthy of the Filthy 15?
How filthy was it for you?
Yes. And as always, like, subscribe, ring the bells, and all the other YouTubey things. And we'll be back with more of the
With more
15,
filth.
more filth and
Yeah.
disgustingness,
Depravity.
evil, very soon. But until then, goodbye.